Hey guys, Zephyrix here, and today we're going to talk about DC Universe Online. Now, I just recently gotten the beta test for DC Universe about, let's say 24 hours, and my thoughts on it. It's actually pretty good. Now there's two things I want to go across right now, really like immediate things. One, when they said this was an action RPG, they were not playing, okay? This game is actually quite action-packed. The control scheme is very, very intuitive to a single or multiplayer game that you might find on a console. Which brings me to my second point: is all PC gamers who want to play this game, DC Universe Online, I recommend you get a controller. This game is it's a game made for a console with the keyboard and mouse tacked onto it. You know, it works like that. I know you guys understand what I mean by that. And the thing is, it's like. It's kind of like playing Tomb Raider with a keyboard and mouse. You know damn well that's not really going to work, and it's more attuned to a console controller. And like, to be honest with you, you'll get a lot more out of the game by playing with a controller. So you can go ahead and pick up a 360 controller, which does work, or you can pick up a PlayStation 3 controller and just hook it up. I've heard there are many ways to do that. So with that said, though, the game itself. Now, first of all, let's start in order, and I'll do a video on this. I can actually do a video on this because they've already released information on the character creator system. So I'm going to go ahead and in-depth into the character creator system either probably later tonight, and I'll go ahead and dig deep and let you guys see exactly how it is, how it works. And to me, it's iffy. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, when the reviews do come out, one of the things it's going to say is they're going to say that you don't actually get. Let's see, they're going to say that the character customization is not as fluent or not as huge as the ones that are from like City of Heroes and Champions Online. That is totally not true. The fact of the matter is, it is quite bigger, but the thing is that it works a little bit different than the usual ones usually does. Basically, what they do is they give you a good amount of stuff, to put on you, but at the same time, the better stuff comes later on in the game. Like, you can actually get, like, for example, I might start off with, like, say, I made, like, for example, I actually did this too. I made a character customized after Batman, and then I did the best that I thought was good, and then all of a sudden I found something else that was a lot better, and so I took that one instead of using whatever I was using. And because I did that, the character, it adds stats to your character, yes, but it also changes your character's visual appearance, as most games do. But the thing is that you actually have the option now to do it, because now you can actually dig into it and you can go ahead and customize your character at any point that you want to do. Let me give you an example. Like, say I picked up a new weapon, right? Brand new weapon. Now, what I can do is this. I can do either A, wear the weapon and my weapon, appearance change, or B, I can wear the weapon but set it to not to change and set it to what I wanted to change. Anything that I've actually picked up in the past is automatically set for my appearance. So while I have the stats of the original weapon, the appearance of the old weapon that I like is actually tacked on to my character. So it actually works out pretty well. It's really, really a good version, good way to do it. They actually do it in EverQuest 2 also, but I like this version actually a lot better. So with that being said too, so that we went over custom, visuals. What about powers and whatnot? Now, the powers were done pretty interesting. Now, you're actually in the game. You actually have, let's see. You have 4 types of powers, or 4 types of abilities, should I say. You have the A, which is your skills, B, which is your travel, and in this case it's limited travel right now. You have C and D, which are your original power set and your second power set. So you can actually have 2 power sets tacked on. Now, basically what it is that you use your skills, and the more you use your skills, your power meter, when you use your powers, you have a power meter or a mana bar, whatever you want to call it, and it drains down. So it stops you from using your powers a lot. But what happens is that if you're using your skills or your regular, or AKA regular attacks, they begin to tack on. Like when you hitting somebody, your mana bar or power bar, when they call it, it basically gets bigger. That's how you refill it. It's pretty simple how it works. The skills, which basically are like attacks, basically work in 2 ways. They come with a range and a melee bundle, and what happens is that when you start getting more, you actually get more abilities, more skills, and these skills either work as combos or their own set. For example, say I have Hand Blast, right? Now what I can do is I can get actually one that's called like a bigger Hand Blast, and what I do is I'll hold down Y or triangle, and what happens is that he'll charge up his powers behind him and shoot him out into one big bolt. So that's how that one works. Or, for example, say like that's the range one. Say I got a melee version, right? What I can do is if I get like a certain move, what happens is that if I press like square or what is it, square or X multiple times, without it I might do like a 3-punch combo, but this time I might do a 3-punch combo and a kick, with the actual thing hooked up to it. So I think it's actually, it works out. So it's very similar to like a, what do you want to call that, a Tekken fighting game, in terms of how the action flows, and it actually flows really well. I was like from the beginning of the game, I was actually very impressed at the system. So what happens is that afterwards you go and you level up and you get your first ability. Now this is how the powers work. Once you buy your power, let's just say you buy gadgets, okay? Gadgets is set for pretty much Batman and Joker, the yin and yang. Of course, you can add in Huntress and Robin and all of them. But for for this, it's basically one side is basically all the Batman gadgets, like explosives and different things like that. And then what happens is that on the other end you have Joker stuff, which is like trick stuff. So you got one to called traps. It's literally called traps that Batman has, and the other one's called tricks, which Joker has. And you can pretty much go in between both of them. For example, on the Joker side, he has this thing, I think it's like a sticky bomb, where he throws the bomb, he throws it right at you, and the guys are like this, and it blows up, and then, oh, I'm trying something else too, and then, that's one way, and then as Batman's, or the traps rather, he can set up a proximity bomb, and when people are near, it hits him in the area of effect, which basically is one of my favorite moves on the game. Well, so far, I'm still in the beginning stages here. Which I want to bring to another thing too, is the combination attacks. You can actually it's made so you can combo, like hit combos, all kinds of crazy combos. For example, remember the sticky bomb I told you? Like I can do this. I can take my sticky bomb, right, throw it at the guy, right, as I'm running up to him, then run up to him, and as soon as the bomb blows up, I can blow it with him. Sorry, not blow it with him, but he blows up, right, and he's in the air, and I can hit the attack button. And all of a sudden, the melee attack button, and the character will jump up and start hitting him in the air, right? And then while I'm doing that, I can hold on to, say, the attack button again, and then unleash another powerful attack, knocking them back into the air. And then I can hold, say, the range button, and charge up a hit, and bang, shoot them out from the air. You can, all kinds of different things you can do, which is, once again, very impressive. It's a really big action game. So now we've talked about controls, whatever. Now I want to talk about the atmosphere of the game too, because this is actually a really good thing too. Now I know a lot of you who are watching this, you've actually seen, you've probably seen the Batman cartoons or the Batman comic books, and you've also seen the Superman cartoons or the Superman comic books. Let me tell you something. For each his own. And what I mean by that is that, like, when you're playing, when you're creating a character, right, you create who you want your mentor to be. By whoever you choose as your mentor depends on what kind of armor and what kind of quest and armor and gear you're going to get, okay? So basically what that means is this, is that when you choose like Batman, right, you actually, your Avengers pretty much lie within the Batman realm, not only just in Gotham City, but the way they're presented to you. And I thought that was awesome. Like the way, like for example, the one I had to go and I had to fight Scarecrow. So like Batman, I had to go sleep into the shadows, and I was actually in an underground sewer, and I had to get rid of gas tanks like that. And then I have another character who I created as Superman as my mentor, and where I was flying around just like Superman. I was doing a lot of Superman-ish things that that couldn't be seen within like, a Superman cartoon or comic book. So a lot of which have to do with Brainiac so far. Where in Batman there are Brainiac things there, but for the most part you're dealing with like Scarecrow. And right now I actually did finish off the Scarecrow one. I'm actually on the Bane one right now, which brings me up to how the stories are done pretty much. What happens is that you can choose, like, it's kind of like an episode, right? And you're continuing doing the different quests. And by the way, the quests are no longer, well, they are. You got those gather or defeat a certain kind of certain type of enemies, but they do put a little bit of a twist on it. I will say that, But anyway, so what happens is that you continue to do the quest, and then you say, okay, you've done that quest, and then you jump into your journal and you continue on with the quest, and finally you get to the end of the quest. One of which I'll say was what was his name, Scarecrow, in which he was hitting me up with a whole bunch of different like ballistophobias, and so I was learning about phobias as well as going ahead and like I never heard of ballistophobia before, but I was learning about phobias as well as playing the game, and I was fighting side by side with Batwoman, and it all ended up pretty well, So one of the good things, if you're a big Batman fan, you're going to want to get this game, and you're going to want to play as Batman as your mentor, because you will fight not only with Batman, but you will fight, different. You will fight in Batman's universe. Same thing. If you're a Superman fan, you can go ahead and fight with Superman, and you will live in a Superman universe. Wonder Woman. Your mentors, by the way, are either who was it? It was for the bad guys. It's Batman. Cersei's, I think his name is. I never even heard of that person yet, but Cersei's and Lex Luthor, and then on the good guy side is the Trinity, okay, which is Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So that's pretty much it from there. But overall, my thoughts on this game. Well, I do understand, after playing the beta, I do understand why the game is not released, will not be released this December. And I'm going to tell you right now, you don't want it released right now. It's still a work in progress. It's still a little bit rough. Like all the voice acting's not there. There's one part where like Oracle's talking to me, and I know who Oracle is, but all of a sudden Oracle sounds like a man. Things like that. And all of a sudden, like Batgirl, the Batgirl came and tried to holler at me, and then she was actually talking. Wait, Batgirl talks? It was like what happened? And anyway, though, Robin's there. In terms of characters who are there, so far so good. I've seen all characters do like a little cameo appearance here and there. Steel, my favorite Superman is actually Steel. I know Steel's not the real Superman, but he is one of my favorite Superman, And no, it's not a racist thing. I just like armored combat things. I'm a big fan of Iron Man as well. So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's not, and then I put this too, like the best part about the game is that the game is pretty much, it's like playing a multiplayer game. It really is. And like, yes, it is a monthly fee game, but it's really worth it, guys. I'm so psyched over this game. Like, seriously, I would not, the only reason why I'm doing this video for you is for two reasons. A, I need to get some work done, some personal work done, and B, they kicked me off the servers because they needed to go ahead and update it. If it wasn't for that update, I probably wouldn't be getting nothing done. Well, I'm pretty sure Camille wouldn't be allowing that to happen. But at any rate, so like I said, put this all to an end. The game is definitely worth it. It has a good, the storyline is really good. Multiple storylines are really good. And no, I have not met face-to-face with Batman, Superman, or Wonder Woman just yet. But, I'm at starting it off. Oh, Joker's there. Mark Hamill, as soon as he started talking, I knew exactly who that was. And, so I was like, oh, sweet. Mark Hamill's back here. And, James Monsters is here, too. I heard him as Lex Luthor. There's other people too. Remember the guy? I can't remember her name right now. Remember the guy who was Morpheus in Matrix? His wife is actually playing Wonder Woman, so I thought that was pretty cool. So at any rate, I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's some other voices out there too. I'm not sure if all the voices are done yet, but that's pretty much it. Oh, before I go, I want to talk about powers. What kind of powers they have available for you? Well, as I said, they have a yin and yang of powers. One, they have the ability to shoot out fire. The other one had the ability to engulf themselves in fire. So you have fire, you have ice, you have gadgets, you have fire, ice, gadgets. Oh, nature, which consists of either A, you transform into the beast, or B, you actually using plants as your as your abilities, or you can use magical powers, and it's endless. But I didn't see anything regarding like Green Lantern or anything like that. I was kind of wondering what the heck was wrong with that. I did see some Green Lantern Corps in the game, but in terms of an actual Green Lantern, not yet. Anyway, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I'm going to end the video right here. I'm going to be returning to you constantly, talking to you guys about some things that I noticed in the game. At any rate, you guys have a good night. Zeph out.